She's coming along awfully nice. Looky here. Hard work, commitment, every single day will pay off in the end, y'all. It will pay off. So far this morning, everything is looking really, really good. We have one or two things that need some work. We've lost that zucchini plant. You're gonna win a lot, and you're gonna lose a little. But the thing that I know the most, oh gosh, feel that breeze. You have to work your gardens every single day. So welcome to Appalachia's Homestead, and I want to show you a little bit of a garden tour today. I want to answer some of your questions, and I want to continue to remind you that what you're doing and the decisions that you're making in terms of your self-reliance, your preparedness, learning to garden, all the things that you're doing right now, number one. So I first want to start off by saying that happy 4th of July weekend. We are into the weekend, and our life in the past good solid 3 weeks has been nothing but a daily grind in terms of working outside and being committed to making sure that we can push past any problems that we had in our gardens, regroup with any problems that we had, and try to save anything in terms of any problems that we were seeing. Blight on my tomatoes was one of them, and I'm pretty doggone sure we beat it. Now, before we do that, you're probably looking at the camera going, wow, those are some snazzy looking earrings that Patera has on there. Yes, I put them on purpose tonight because I made a choice this weekend to skip the Cherokee powwow, which was yesterday, today, and tomorrow. It happens every 4th of July in Cherokee. I was invited to go yesterday and today by Miss Lou. You all know Miss Lou. She is my language teacher. She is one of my best friends. She is my elder. We love her. And I had to turn down the invitations of going with her to the powwow. And that's very disappointing. Powwows are a lot of fun. They are a great community. And for someone like me, it's a nice regroup moment, and I had to say no. And I actually had a very difficult moment with that last night as we were digging the potatoes in the garden. I put that video out. You've seen some of my potatoes. I had to really have a heart-to-heart with James because it's one of those moments that I had where you get frustrated with the situation that we're in. And I know you're probably going, why is she saying that? You're not used to hearing me talk like that. I'm just like you. I do these things because I love them, but this year, as in the last 2 years of our lives, have been very, very different. And so it's not about Missouri Wonders and homegrown tomatoes and cucumbers taste better, and you know, you're learning a good skill and it's what Granny did. It's about life or death now. And yes, I did just use that language because that's how I feel about it. So tonight, I'm going to wear my earrings from Miss Lou, my powwow, you know, a little something, just to say I'm in spirit with her. And you know, there will be other powwows soon that I'm going to attend. And it's disappointing. And I was very upset last night because, you know, you make a decision and then you go, you know, you want to be somewhere. You want to have a break. You want to do something fun. I do want to remind you that I am for that. You know, we've been work, and I believe in work. Take a break. Go get some ice cream. You know, do something fun. But that has not been the situation for us lately. Probably isn't the situation for you either, okay? And so I understand that, and I want to let you know that life is not over, but what you're doing right now in terms of growing food and learning skills is truly connecting to your roots. This is what your grandmothers would want you to be doing right now. And I remembered that last night as I was venting in the garden with that last half row of potatoes, and I was almost in tears, and I was tired, and I was frustrated because I was like, why can't I be in denial like all these other crazy people that are spending all their money at the beach? We all know better, but we're human too. So I do want to stress to you that taking an appropriate break when you need to is a good thing. Mental, physical, spiritual, but you got to hop back into it. But before you do that, you have to pick your time. Yesterday wasn't my time. Today, even today, because I debated going to Cherokee today, and I just looked up at James, I said, no, it's not my time. And we got so much done. And I'm proud of myself, and I'm proud of you. But I want to remind you that you're going to have these moments, and they're perfectly normal, and you are completely human. But look at the payoff in the end. So in reminding myself and in telling you this, I've had a lot of questions about different things that I've done in my gardens and how come we're having so much success. Please do not take what I'm about to say as me giving criticism or scolding or anything like that. I'm not. I'm just telling you the honest to Pete truth. You cannot go out and plant all these things. All of those things. See all that up there? What? Don't look at the tarp. I got to get that cement up. That's the final bag of cement for our fencing. It's still there. You know, you just can't get out and put out all of these things and they're going to make it on their own. Very rarely does that happen, okay? It is a daily commitment from you to get up or to go out, even if it's just for half an hour, to spend time with your garden. If you've been doing this as long as me or longer, I'm not talking to you. If you have only been gardening for, say, the last 2 or 3 years, and maybe you've had some success, but maybe you've also had some failures, you've also seen that. You learn the hard way. You learn as you go. You learn how you want to space things. You learn how you need to rotate things. You learn what things work here versus other areas. It's going to school you. It is the ultimate education, but you have to walk through it. You cannot just plop the plants out here and it's just going to provide for you. That's not always the case. 90% of the situation that you see out here has been worked one way or another. I have been making sure that my Missouri Wonders, you know, grasp on to the cattle panels. My sweet potatoes came back, but I gave them their organic fertilizer. I've been making sure that I've been going through and pulling my newest cucumbers so they don't get too up. That's going to be good. See, it thanks you. It says thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we can, you know, enjoy this and it can continue to grow and we can continue to see these other things. But particularly what I want to talk about are tomatoes, because I did a video a couple weeks ago about talking about pruning. I've talked about suckers. I've talked about my different amendments and different things that I add to my tomatoes. And I've definitely talked about blight. I want to show you some hot mess that I have right here that I have got to get picked up before bed. This afternoon I came through and I'm trying to pull my tomatoes back up again, up to clasp them up onto the cattle panels. I've also been taking more leafing out. I haven't picked it up because it started thunderstorming this afternoon. Now we're back to hot sun and high humidity. But my point is here's the thing. When you plant something in your garden, you must start early in terms of care. What I have found for us is when we plant our tomatoes, I make sure that I'm adding a good round of amendments to it. My wood ash, my Epsom salt, calcium. I use Tums, the little calcium carbonate tablets, a little bit of baking soda. I have this mix. I have it in a video from just a couple weeks ago when I planted the tomatoes. And I show you and I talk about, you put that in there when you plant them. Then once they start to grow a little bit and then they start to establish, you do it again. As they start to grow more, you might have to start taking some bottom leaves off, watching what's going on, making sure they're pulled up off the ground as much as possible. Mine aren't perfect, but I try every day, right? Every day, every other day. I am working my tomatoes. I may be working my corn tomorrow and working my potatoes, but the next day I'll be back in here with my tomatoes again. But with all of this crazy weather that we've been seeing and all of the problems that you have been seeing too, we had some blight hit, y'all. So let me show you what I did. I am not perfect. It is not perfect, but we have got some tomatoes. So let me show you here. All of these tomatoes on this particular side have the heavy stands from Gardener Supply. The reason I have so many is because I started buying them in like 2010. I would buy 3 to 6 at a time each year for Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, and so I've built quite a collection of them, okay? Really, really like them. They do a really good job, okay? So that's Gardener Supply Company, etc., etc. But you can see, look, all of this right through here has come back. I'll always come back. Y'all remember that song? Baby, to you. I did have a little bit of leaf curling due to heat stress. You can see that still is in some of the plants, but they are flowering and they are putting out, look here, all of these tomatoes. So what I did is I made sure, now see, look here. I've got to pull her up and clasp her on there. So see, I want you to see that. That is a no-no. No, 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 no. I got to get her up. Get up here, girlfriend. And you're going to see that as they grow and as they form out, certain limbs, if you will, get heavy and they get heavy. So you've got to continually get in here. This one right here is a little bit too thick. So I need to get in here and trim out. See this is pointed down. I need more air circulation in here. So this doesn't just happen one time. So I came in here, I cleared a lot of this extra foliage out. I clipped off as much yellowing or any spotting from the bottom up as much as possible. I treated with Captain Jack's. You can make your own blight spray, but this year I used Captain Jack's. I just talked about this about, I don't know, maybe last week, and it has been tremendous. Now look here, you can still see that right there. I told you I had about 3 or 4 plants a couple weeks ago really stressed from the heat because we've had tremendous heat just like you. I mean, 95 degrees, 100 degrees, no rain. But I've continued to come out. I've continued to try to trim away anything that I could. I will pull them up. While I do have weeding coming up around the bottom, doesn't look awesome. Okay, not awesome, but you don't want it really truly just grasping around the bottoms of the plants because you're going to find out if you pay attention. See, she's going to need a little clip right there. You're going to find out really fast and really quick that if you get blight, if you have a blight problem, the stuff on the ground around it gets blight too. So it's not about perfection, it's about doing your best. It's about letting it do its best. And even, guys, even with that, sometimes things just absolutely fail. I mean, it's just the way that it is. But you have to get into the mode of this is your daily due diligence. And this is what I'm saying. When it gets hot outside and we want to go, tubing down the river and we want to go to Dollywood and we want to go to the powwow and we want to do all of these things, you have to start making decisions on whether or not that's a smart decision. I didn't go because I know weather is supposed to be coming in. And I need to get things clipped up, clipped out, pulled, fertilized, treated, and taken care of one more good time before we get hit with several days of rain. Because at that point, it then could definitely be too late. If I let all that moisture come in and I let everything continue to lay on the ground, or I don't have things clipped up, or I don't have things treated, the weather, the rain, the humidity is going to compound that problem for me. So I have to give up going to dinner with the girlfriends. I have to give up, like I said, going to the powwow. We have to put off going on a family, day trip the week of vacation. Maybe even if it's just for a couple of days. Our grandmothers, mine at least, when I talk about this, My grandmothers really didn't get to go out and do all the things that we are exposed to being able to do right now. My great-great-grandmother, I talk about her all the time. Do you know that woman never saw the ocean? I know that sounds very 1883 to you, but it's for real. She never went and saw the ocean. That was one of the things that she said in her last couple of years of life. She had told my mother. My mother said, "Do you have any regrets?" And she was like, "Well, no." She said, "But I would have liked to have seen the ocean." She worked all of her life. And at the moment right now, we can feel a little bit sad about that. I mean, I certainly can. I do think that's sad. But at the same time, she defied 1918, World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, and raised a whole big old handful of, grandbabies, great-grandbabies, and me, So did she accomplish? Most definitely. But she was out every day. One way or another, she was doing something every single day. Because that's the life she knew. And that's what it takes to make it. So no, it's not going to be perfect. And no, it's not going to be easy. And yes, you're going to have to make the decision that you are in a lifestyle change. You don't just throw a garden together. You don't just say, "I'm going to make a prepper list today. I'm just going to get, 11 hens and a rooster, and I'm going to be set." That's not how this lifestyle works. It is a daily commitment. And it's giving up a lot of other things. And it's picking and choosing and making decisions on what is most important at that time. And sometimes it calls for delaying a lot of pleasure. But you know what? When I start frying up green tomatoes and when I start bringing in my harvest here, because some of them are starting to turn, and I can can my own tomatoes here real soon, and I can watch them line up on my shelf, and then I can take a day off and I get to go to my powwow. Do you know how much sweeter that experience is going to be? Think about that. So whatever you are delaying right now to live this lifestyle, to learn these skills, and I know that you're doing it for your children and your grandchildren. I know you are. I know that. I think your harvest and I think the benefits are going to be 10 times greater than you ever imagined they would be, because you did this and you committed to it and you stuck with it when somebody and when this movement needed you most. Don't think that won't go unnoticed by others, and especially God. You'll be rewarded. Guys, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it was inspiring, and I hope that I've answered some questions. Again, if you're having trouble with blight, you better get in there. Do not wait. When you start to see a problem, whether it's aphids, whether it is any type of disease, any type of problem, you have got to get in there and get it going as far as how you're attacking it immediately. You really, truly cannot wait even 24 hours. And you have to continue to attack it. You can't put off watering the tomatoes, because you'll find yourself continuing that habit, and then it's going to be too late. If you need to put a little bit extra calcium into with your tomatoes, do it at the very beginning. Do it at the very beginning. Do it about 2 weeks later. And then, like right now, I'm about to go through and probably add some more Epsom salt and calcium again. I have had 0 blossom end rot. 0. Haven't had the first problem with that. Like I said, if you do the things that I mentioned, you most likely won't, but you have to stick with it. But you can't control the weather. Maybe someone else can, but you can't. My point, though, is you have to be willing to get out here and work. And sometimes it can take quite a bit of time. Just know that up front. Commit to it. And when it's done and you start to see hundreds of tomatoes coming on, you're going to feel pretty doggone good about yourself. We appreciate you. We'll keep you posted. We've got a lot of our potatoes up. The corn, as you can see up there, is doing great. It is not tasseled just yet, but I think we're pushing that. The cosmos, if you let me see right here, the orange cosmos you've seen line up in my videos, we have hundreds of bees right now, and hopefully they'll love our corn just as much. So remember, plant your pollinator friendly items as well, and we gotta feed the bees too. We appreciate you being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. Make your comment down below. Tell us what's going on with you this year. Let me know if I can help. I will do my best. Just keep working your garden. Get out every evening when it cools down. Early morning is best for watering. But obviously, it's hot, so I've pulled back. So when the sun starts to set and I can handle a little bit more of this heat again, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to work. Just keep at it, guys. We appreciate you. Stay well out there. And we'll see you on the next video.